right, from Muscle Insider, I'm Shawn Ray with the voice of bodybuilding, Bob Chick. We just wrapped up the 60th press conference here in Las Vegas on day one, where the fireworks will hit the fan tomorrow. Many little words up here behind us. There wasn't a lot of crap being talked this year.
The bigger the guy, the less they said, right?
Yeah,
Andrew Jack had about 6 words, but that was okay. Samson let his physique do the talking. The only guy to actually take something off. We haven't seen that in years.
Yeah.
We haven't literally seen that, Shaun, since
Gunther
Ronnie and Gunther, right? When they were going in back-to-back, and Gustavo Bedell.
Cutler jumped in
and I think Cutler was even in there. These days, that's here and there at best. But you know what? You were in the front row, obviously one of the panelists. What did you think when Samson, this isn't stage lighting, it actually it is because they had the amateur here. How did Samson look?
Yeah, no color, no oil. Of course, he's really dark.
Yeah, he's dark. Anyway.
But the oil and the lights will make it illuminate what we didn't see. Plus, he's got another day and a half to dry out.
Like a contender.
Oh, of course. He's one of the front runners for this title. And those guys sat on their hands for very good reason. I wouldn't want to take my clothes off after looking at that.
He was 302 pounds the other day, Samson. He's in shape at 300 pounds. And Andrew Jack, 6'2", he's over 300 pounds. You got some big boys coming out there, but I'm going to ask you the same question that we asked in the panel. Can the two Nigerians, the two big boys out there, with 600 pounds between them, can they put Hadi and Derek to bed?
100%. We're living in that time where I think these judges are going to give everybody a very fair look. But don't be surprised if the apple cart doesn't just flip upside down, because I think you have to keep Samson and Andrew together. So they're either 1 and 2, and then you're going to have Derek and Hadi fighting it out for 3 and 4, or it could be the reverse. I don't think you're going to stick a short guy in between those two big Nigerians. This is going to be a very interesting show.
You saw Brandon Curry out here, and we got a healthy one, thank God. Last year was a debacle, but he still made it on stage and still made the top 6.
Yeah.
Is a healthy Brandon Curry still a contender for the title, or is he just looking to be in the mix?
I feel like he's in the twilight, just like a William Bonek. I think that we've probably seen the best of Brandon, and that's not knocking him. With age comes responsibility. This is a father of 4. He's got a gym, and he spends a lot of time away. And, sometimes when you do the same thing, I know my experience tells me that sometimes when you do the same things, you kind of get the same results, and you're fighting father time. These are young, hungry lions.
To his credit, actually, I think this is the first year that he's made a change. I don't think he did the whole Kuwait thing this year, right?
Right.
So he was at his gym, under his guidance. He's got 4 kids, so he's obviously got his hands full. His wife takes care of all kinds of business. Hats off to Brandy out there. So maybe this was the catalyst that he needed. Maybe he needed to get out of what got him there some years ago. Maybe we'll see the best Brandon Curry we've seen.
We saw that once before in Dexter Jackson, who's just nothing short of amazing. But is Brandon Curry Dexter Jackson? William Bonek's on record. This is his last time at bat. I think out of the lineup up here, I think Brandon would be on the bubble.
Let's talk about this. Keone and Shaun Clarida, right? You got the champ, you got the ex-champ. Shaun Clarida doesn't make mistakes twice, and I asked him directly. He said he was 8 pounds heavier last year. Huge mistake. He'll never do it again. He said right here, I'm back to 175 pounds. That's actually a pound below when he won the title. Is he a threat to take out Keone, or is Keone just too much for him?
Well, again, he showed flashes of victory last year in the prejudging, and Keone closed the door, and Keone said he was 100%. If Keone's one slight percentage better, he's still a bigger, wider version and more mature-looking physique than Shaun Clarida. Shaun Clarida only has so much to work with. His height limits him. I think he's probably maxed out on that. He's going to hope that Keone spills over, and that might be his window in.
I'll tell you what, I saw some video footage of Keone the other day. I've never seen him any better. He's got lines in his glutes, which you've almost never seen before. The knock on him was he was always a little bit soft, but he seems to have solved that. And I tell you what, I don't know if that was you or somebody else that asked on the panel, is he ever thinking about going to the Open? And you know what? What a great response. You know what? Forget about the Open. I'm here fighting for my title, trying to keep this guy away from me, because Shaun Clarida, the one thing you know about him is he's going to come in shape.
Yeah, well, I put that bug in Keone's ear because he saw what Hadi did. He's seen what it did for Derek's career. The next guy that would be able to move into that slot is Keone Pearson. So he's going to have to let that meander around in his head. It's $50,000 to win, but he's going to watch someone walk off with $400,000 that used to be a 212 champion.
Well, we pressed Chris Bumstead all we could, of course, the panel, myself included. He's just too smart for the Jedi mind tricks. He knows what he wants. He knows what he says. He's not biting for any of it. You can't get him to kind of spill the beans on anything. And I think that's kind of smart in his case. Listen, why put anything out there that he doesn't have to, right? All he's focusing on is making this number 6, and then he can go from there. But in your heart of hearts, is there any good reason to continue after this? He's certainly not doing it for the money, Shaun. We've established that. It's $50,000 plus, as opposed to $400,000, as you mentioned, for the Open. But the money he makes from ancillary stuff, the collateral damage is huge for him when he makes big money on social media, on all his enterprises. Jim Shark, he's just got him coming and going. The $50,000 in the title is just a catalyst for everything else that he does in the business of bodybuilding.
I feel like it's kind of an episode of Rocky. I mean, we've seen this guy do what he does, but remember Rocky said you can't get out of bed on sleeping on silk sheets, right? When you got this guy, Mr. T, coming up. I think that right now Chris has got a lot going on in his career, a whole lot more than those other guys. Those guys are hungry to take the champion out on the stage. I guarantee you this would be the last time we see Chris, but it's not a guarantee. This guy's got a kid. He made his trip over to Turkey. He's taking some time off. He's battling injuries. He's got the Gymshark thing. His mind is all over the place, more so than when he won the first, second, third, fourth, and the fifth titles. If he's ever vulnerable, right now is the most vulnerable time for him.
Well, Urza and Ramon, as good as they are, can't take anything away from them, have never beaten Chris Bumstead. They probably never will beat Chris Bumstead. But Wesley Vissers is a different animal because Wesley Vissers not only brings something new to the table, but he brings old school. And he really makes this, we've always asked the question, Shawn, what is Classic Physique? Is it a physique? Is it a look? Is it supposed to be a look like the old days, right? Listen, you can't just do this and say you're Classic Physique. Wesley Vissers literally looks like somebody you took out of 1975 and planted him here. Yeah. Does that go anywhere with the judges? Like, should that be a criteria, Shawn?
Well, it's classic. And at the same time, look, Raymond Dino's face, if we're going off of faces, out of all the guys, he looks like he's peeled underneath those clothes. And that conditioning, along with his presentation, could catapult him over both of these cats. So this is a good competition. I said 8 years ago, Classic Physique would be the one that winds up taking center stage, not just because of the performances, but the physiques, and they are definitely maturing at the right time.
Dino's arms are like somebody ripped off somebody's legs and put them on where his arms are supposed to be. His arms are so big for a classic. I mean, he's not a small dude anyways, all right? But his arms are huge, and that's always been the best feature about him and the worst feature about him, because as you know, it's all about balance. And he has worked hard and tirelessly because he's got to try to contend against Chris Bumstead from the back, and those big arms only make his back look that much smaller. Do you think he caught up, or is that just one of those body parts you're like, brother, you're blessed, but it's killing you?
Yeah, but it's still one of those situations where the conditioning may rule the day and performance as well, which is why jumping over to the physique division with Ryan Terry, if that guy comes in like he looked last year, Aaron Banks is going to have his hands full. Of course, Brandon Hendricks is not in the show, former champion of 3 times. So this is the year that he should have been. Oh, that pose?
That Superman pose, like I said, if bodybuilding shows are one from the back, men's physique shows are one from the front. That kid came out there, boom, the hands went on the hips, and all he was missing was a red cape flowing in the breeze. Yeah. Ryan Terry has earned every bit of this, like you said. He's not new. He's been bucking at this for 10 years. He's earned every single place except first place, which he did last year. Aaron Banks, as good as he is, I think kind of once he's in that slot, I can see Ryan Terry taking this one again. And speaking of getting titles back, well, Harold King Kong Kelly, the all-time winningest wheelchair bodybuilder alive, had a little slip-up the last year or so. We have not seen him at his best. He let his guard down. He lost a couple of titles, which we've never seen from him. Question is now did that light a fire underneath him to get him back in the winner's circle where he can go out in style with his 6th Olympia victory?
The problem is his responsibilities have not diminished, and that's a young, hungry guy that won the title, and he says he's even bigger this year.
No joke. He's a lot bigger than Harold.
Yeah.
And Harold's got a lot of muscle.
Here's where Harold may fall short, and Father Time is undefeated. And this guy's a lot younger than Harold,
You're a testament to that.
He's a lot younger than Harold, so I don't know. I think that title might stay exactly where it is, even though Harold will put up a fight. I wanted to go back over to the fitness routines because we were talking about Missy Truscott and her injury coming back, but the young lady Taylor, who came out of nowhere to jump into second place. The question is, are the judges going to reward her again for the performance? Because the physique's got to count for something, too.
Well, the physique does, Shawn, as you know. It accounts for 1/3.
Yeah.
The routine is 2/3, okay? So it's worth twice as much. That's big trouble for everybody else. Yeah. Taylor Learmont is heads and shoulders above these other girls, with all due respect to the other champs and the contenders. She is so, she's Bella Caroli material. Yeah. Okay? Look that one up, folks, if you need to, okay? We're talking about Olympic-style movements, activity out there. She does movements that none of the other girls literally can physically do. Yeah. The question is did she bring her physique up enough? And I think she has. This past year, she's not going to win the physique round, okay? But she doesn't have to. Right. If she can just keep herself in the top 3, 2/3 on that routine round, you got yourself a new Olympia champion. You heard it right here. Safest bet of the weekend, Taylor Larmont. your 2024 Olympia champion.
Well, it doesn't hurt that the defending champion is out due to pregnancy. Oksana Grishina, she's got 5 of those titles to her credit. But we got to find out what Missy Truscott comes back with, because she goes all out, which is partly probably why she got hurt.
Bro, it was terrible. I mean, she actually got hurt literally 6 feet from me.
Yeah.
And I shot her. I don't normally do this because you got expediters, but nobody was around. I shot over there. I knew she was injured. I grabbed her hand, and she was completely in shock. She had no idea what had just happened. She knew she was injured, but finally somebody came out, and but it's been a whole year of rehab for her.
Right.
What a testament to the champions that we have here at the Olympia, that you could blow out a knee. And listen, for a fitness competitor, this isn't figure or even bikini, nothing to take away from them, but they're standing there. You're doing flips and back things, and she's very strong in those strength moves. So good for her for getting back. We're going to see if it costs anything in terms of her athleticism, but she'll still be a contender. Listen, she's a former Olympia champ. You can't take that away from her.
Yeah, speaking of former Olympia champions, Ashley Kaltwasser's coming off surgery as well. A lot of people don't remember at the top of the year, she had eye surgery. Only went on to win a couple of more shows on her way here. Very few of these bikini girls continue to compete after they win the title. They sit it out because they're She got a lifetime qualifying by winning this 3 times before, and she's going for number 4.
Well, A, she's a good pupil.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Pun intended. B, she can see clearly the title in her presence. Listen, she won 3 times, but that was years ago, bro.
It was.
Okay, now she's been a great contender. She's the all-time winningest in any division. She's won like 50 titles or something like that.
Yeah.
I think she'd be hard-pressed to come back and actually gain the title with the other girls. Laura-Lee Chapados is my pick. 3-time Arnold Classic champ. She is due. Jennifer Dory, as everybody knows, not in the mix this year. She's taking a year off. And then you've got the other contenders, and they're all good contenders. Isa Piccini, former Olympia champ. Can't take that away from her. She's been in the winner's circle, right? Where's it going to go from there? I think Laura-Lee is going to be the girl to beat. And Ashley Kaltwasser will absolutely be in the top 5. But you've got some young guns in there, and that goes a long way in bikini.
Well, in bodybuilding for the ladies, 4-time champion Andrea Shaw pretty much said this door's closed. She left it open this summer, got caught sleeping, but I still think she was on her way down. She said she took it for granted being the champion with all the responsibilities and things that she has. She's been laser focused, almost 7 weeks away from home, lots of sacrifice. Whereas Angela, she still looks like a very small bodybuilder by comparison to the bigger Andrea Shaw.
This is Andrea Shaw's to win and lose. I like the answers from both ladies, by the way, in the press conference. They both handled it very well, but they're both very much competitors, okay? And they're out here to win. They ain't out here to be buddy-buddy. After the show, you can do all that. Andrea Shaw is simply a cut above, okay, to steal one from Jay Cutler in his day. She's that good. She let her guard down, okay? That's not Angie's fault. Angie came in, got her all-time best, and she got that Rising Phoenix title from
her. To her credit, she said she was busy doing the business of bodybuilding.
That's fine, that's good, but that's not an Olympia title. Okay, as big as that title is, this is the big enchilada right here, okay, the Super Bowl of bodybuilding. Andrea Shaw, in my book, you're going to see the best Andrea Shaw you've ever seen, because Angie has lit that torch, okay? And she's not taking it for granted now. She knows she can be beat, right? But let me tell you something. You got other contenders in there too, but these two have kind of separated themselves from the pack. But Christina Mendoza, remember that name, folks? I've been talking about her all year. She's got every attribute to upset all of them.
Well, how about the present? Francielle, she's got 3 wellness titles. She hasn't lost, and yet she's sitting next to a girl that's been undefeated in her pro career, and she's confident about saying that they are the future. She's the present.
You know what? You had to love that exchange with the girls. Of all the people that were out here, all the champions, right? Who would have thought that the wellness girls brought the most heat on stage? And they were having fun with it. I mean, it was all in good fun, but Francielle just kept going, nope. It ain't happening, ladies, all right? You're all battling for second place. She's our all-time, every-time champ, because we haven't had it longer than 3 years. But she's got a big push coming from Eduarda.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. Eduarda has got a look that not a lot of the other girls have, including Francielle. So this is going to be real interesting to see where she ends up in that mix. And Isabel Nunez is no slouch. She's taken second place year after year after year, only because of the great Francielle is in front of her.
100%. Well, you noticed that bringing the heat, Sarah Villegas came out and just got naked almost.
I know, right?
And you saw that the other girl that was in second,
Natalia.
Thank you for catching me on that one. She was not impressed.
No, you know what?
She didn't even blink. She almost looked away.
She didn't, actually, and I like that. You know what? Because that's exactly what she should do.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen her actually go out there, and we could have posed down right in the spot. But that's how confident Sarah Villegas is of her title, that she comes out here with almost, she had shorts and a top on, right? Boom, that stuff came off, and she is ripped and diced. But I can see lines through.
Yes, Natalia's leggings.
Through the leggings of Natalia Coelho and
shape.
what she brings. She is in shape. Listen, nobody's hungry, Shawn. You know this. You were there. Nobody is hungrier than somebody who lost that title, and they want that title back. Look for those two to battle it out, and only those two. Well, nobody's touching them for the 1-2 slot.
The only other one that sounded more hungry, and that's Sid Gillen with 7 of those Olympia titles. She sounds like she's going absolutely nowhere in defense of that title.
Well, nobody's beaten her for 7. She's been unbeatable for 7 years, right? Her physique is so beautiful in terms of shape, proportion, symmetry. Those are the hallmarks of figure. That's exactly what figure is. Yep. Hard to beat her. As great as Jessica Padilla is, and listen, she's earned her lot. I mean, she's been second place to Sid. She's the Masters champion, a current Masters Olympia champ. But you can't beat that shape. Sydney Gillen is like Keone Pearson. Yeah. They both got that beautiful physique, and if they just come in shape, it's very difficult to beat her. Look for Sydney Gillen to put 8 straight in there. She said she's going for 10. I ain't betting against her.
Well, we're less than 24 hours away from visiting the Joe Weider Olympia Expo, where the prejudging will take place. Some of those divisions will take place tomorrow morning. Some of the finals will take place tomorrow night. And, of course, the big one is the Mr. Olympia. That's going to end, not here, in the Resorts World on Saturday night. And someone... Well, are you going to say and new, or are you going to say and still?
You know what I could say, and depending on who it comes down to. Yeah. I could say and 2-time. And the whole place is going to come to a stop because guess what? They'll both be 2-time. Not that I would ever do such a thing.
However, you could say and new, and that's where everything is going to go upside down and haywire. So many divisions. I think we've got 11 pro divisions, but it all kicks off with the Expo. I believe it starts at like 10 o'clock in the morning. And, of course, Wolfpack Bag is one of our main sponsors, and we're going to be over there at Mutant. And what else you got going on?
Bro, what don't we have going on? Exactly. We got the business of bodybuilding, so we'll be around all weekend bringing you guys updates throughout all the action going on at Joe Weider's 60th. We got the watch party going on at the Zook Theater. You got the pay-per-view. There's only one thing that's for sure, Shawn, and that is history will be made right here on the Olympia stage.
All right. For Muscle Insider, I'm Shawn Ray with Bob Chick.